Hi friends, welcome back to my second tutorial of iPhone app development. In this tutorial, I am going to discuss auto layout. If you have missed my first tutorial, please click the thumbnail and get back to it before moving further. So let us start with the auto layout. We are going to discuss the three main points: what is an auto layout, why to use auto layout, and how to use auto layout. So what is an auto layout? Auto layout is a constraint-based layout system. It allows developer to create an adaptive interface that responds appropriately to the changes in the screen size and device orientation. By using the constraint to represent the relationship between the views, auto layout generates these frames for you. It calculates the size and position on your behalf as long as the rule you set results in one sound outcome. What does this mean? So let us discuss this practically with our project we created in our earlier tutorial. So if you remember, in our earlier tutorial, we created a project where we aligned the button in the middle of the screen, and on the click of the button, the background color of the screen was changing. If you remember, we created the project using the view as iPhone 11, and then we align the constraint for this view. Now, if we run the project in iPhone 11, it look nice, and if we run the project, same project in iPad Air, the button is aligned in the center. It is also looking nice. Now, suppose if we have placed a button and we added 4 constraints to this button. So suppose we delete these constraints, the alignment part. We delete these constraints. Just select these constraints and click the delete button. The constraint will be deleted. Now, if you run this project in iPhone 11, the view will look good, proper, because we have created the button for iPhone 11. We have created the interface for iPhone 11 and we have aligned the button in a proper place. But suppose we run this app now in iPad Air. Previously in iPad Air, the button was center aligned and it was looking nice. Now, when I have deleted the constraint, let me relaunch my app in iPad Air. You will see the difference. So, the button which was aligned in the middle of the screen is now aligned in the leftmost portion of the screen, and it does not look nice. So, this is what the constraints is required for. If you placed a button, a view, or any other UI object inside a storyboard and you haven't decided a set of rules for the alignment, the UI will not look good in all the screen sizes, also in all the device orientation. That is what the constraints is meant for. So, we will decide a set of rules. Suppose if you want to align this button in the middle of the screen, earlier we decided set of rules, 4 set of rules, that we will align this button in the middle of the screen by placing this button 116 from the leading edge, 116 from the trailing edge, 300 from the top, and 300 from the bottom. So, these set of rules are called constraints. So, moving further for our definition part, we can say that auto layout is a constraint-based layout system. It allows the developer to create an adaptive interface that responds appropriately to the changes in the screen size and device orientation. By using the constraint to represent the relationship between the views. Here we have a UI view. The default UI view on which the button was placed and a button. Relationship between these two views, auto layout generate these frames for you. It calculates the size and position on your behalf as long as the rule you set result in one sound outcome. So you can see the auto layout. What is an auto layout? Now, why to use auto layout? Without using auto layout, it will be difficult for us to calculate the aligning a UI object inside a storyboard. Without using the constraint, it will be very complex to decide the size or position that UI object on the view. So coming back to our definition part, auto layout is a constraint based layout. It allows the developer to create an adaptive interface that responds appropriately to the changes in the screen size and the device orientation. So we are going to discuss the device orientation part now. So let us first add some constraint to our button, and we will rotate our device. We will check if our app look nice in different device orientation or not. Also, we will learn how to add the device orientation to our running app. So first of all, we will add the constraint. We removed all the constraint previously, so we will add the constraint. So now, putting the basic constraint that we decided earlier was we added a leading, trailing, top and bottom constraints. So we are going to add all these constraints. Now we added the constraints. Now let us check our app in different device orientation. For checking our app in different device orientation, you can either relaunch the app or you can either check the app in different devices using the preview button. So let us just check our app using the preview button. You select your Xcode, go to the toolbar, select the editor and go to preview, select the preview. So the preview screen will open. I have selected the preview and the preview screen has opened. You can check this plus button here. Using this plus button, you can add different simulator, different devices on your preview screen. Also, going to the bottom of this screen, you can see you have a arrow button. This button will rotate your screen. So you can check your app in different device orientation. You can see here it is written iPhone 11 portrait light style. So it is in portrait mode. Now let us use our app in landscape mode. It is written landscape, so I can see that my button is in the landscape, but I can see that my button does not look nice because it is not aligned to the middle of the screen in iPhone 11. Let us check my app for other devices. Let's say for iPad. So in the iPad screen also the button does not look nice in the, it is a portrait, so it is okay, but for the landscape you can say that the button does not seem good, look nice altogether. So let us edit our constraints. Let us define our constraints once again so that it look nice in all the screens and all in all device orientation. So let us see what is wrong with our current constraints. See, when we rotate our device, the height becomes the width and width becomes the height. Now we have put a constraint where we are aligning a button from the top and the bottom and left and right. We are using, for the top and the bottom, we are using 300, 300. In left and right, we are using 116 distance. So as we have given our top and the bottom 300 plus 300, so it becomes 600. Now the height, when I rotated my device to landscape, the height has become 414, which is the height of iPhone 11 screen. You can see when you click this button and go to the simulator size, you can say and get the free form. Then you can see that the breadth is 414 and height is 896. That is the breadth and a height of a iPhone 11. When I rotated my device, the breadth height becomes 414. Now we have used top and the bottom constraint 300, 300 and it becomes 600, and 600 is greater than 414. So let us decide one better constraints for this button. For deciding the better constraint, I have to remove the top and the bottom. I have removed, or I am going to remove the top and the bottom constraint. That is, let me just remove the preview screen so that I can work more perfectly. So I am going to reduce the bottom. I am going to delete the top constraint. So I am going to delete the top constraints. So I have a button which is aligned 116 from the left and right. Now for the top and the bottom, I am going to decide the height of my button, and I am going to align my button in the center vertically to the container. So let me put height for my button. So I am going to decide the height. I am going to decide the height to be 100, and I am going to put the center horizontally from container constraints for my button. So I am going to tap this button for horizontally to the container, vertically to the container. We are going to add vertically to the container, and this will do. So now let us check our app in the preview mode. So I think it looked nice for iPhone 11. Let me add iPad screen also. In the iPad screen also, I think it looked nice for the landscape, as well as it looked nice for the portrait. But now also, if I want the breadth of the constraint to be fixed, I can do one more thing, is that I can select the button, I can delete the trailing and leading constraint, and I can put a breadth to my button and align this center horizontally to the container. So let me do that. I am selecting this button. Let me just remove the preview. So I am going to just delete the leading and trailing constraint, leading and trailing constraint, and I am going to decide the breadth of my button. I am going to add a breadth. You can add the constraint either using these buttons, or you can just select a button and control drag to this button like this, and you will get the breadth. So I will add a breadth, and you can edit the size of the breadth selecting edit button in the in this window. So you can edit it to let it be 100 as a height, as of height. So I have added this, and I will align center horizontally. You select this button and center horizontally, so the relationship we are going to create using this button and this view. We are going to create a relationship between this button and view. Relationship of alignment between the button and the view. Button has to be aligned center horizontally to UI view. So I am just select this button and control drag to this view, and you will get center horizontally in safe area. Select this and this will be center align horizontally. So now you can check this using the preview and you get this. So this is iPhone 11. Now also I have one problem because my text is not clear. The text is truncating in the center. So I need to put the width to be a little more greater than 100. So I am going to put this 200. Now my text is looking good in two devices. I am checking in two devices. So let me rotate it. Yes, it is good in landscape also. It is good in portrait for iPhone 11. You can add more devices like iPhone 8 Plus. You can check for iPhone 8 Plus. This is iPhone 11. This is iPad, and this is iPhone 8 Plus. Okay, this is okay for iPad. This is okay for okay. So this is iPhone 8 Plus. So it look okay for iPhone 8 Plus also. So you can now relaunch your app in different devices. Just run your app and check whether it look nice for different orientation or not. So we are going to check for iPhone 11. Just rotate this simulator using the window button and arrow key. So it is looking nice. Now I am going to check this for iPad mini. My iPad mini is launching. So I am going to check this in iPad mini. It is taking some time for launching because the launch is for first time. So in my iPad mini screen, I can see a button going to the landscape. For this, the button is looking nice for all the mode, all the screen orientation. So this is the auto layout for different screen orientation. Now if you can notice, you can see there is a warning over here. You please check this warning. If I check this warning, I get to know that if it is saying fixed width constraint may cause clipping. What does this mean? This means that the constraint that you have put all together, or the width constraint, it is telling us about the width constraint. It is telling if the width constraint, if the size of the text is changed, which may happen if your app is supporting the localization. That means if your app is supporting multiple languages. Suppose click me, we say click me in English, it takes some amount of space in English, but the same text can take a greater space in some other language. So this is called a localization, means the text in different languages. So the same text, if written in French, German, it may take some more space. So it is stating that fixed width constraint may cause the flipping of the text. So for that, we need to do one thing, that we have applied a width constraint is equal to 200. So you can see there is a relation. You can see in the attribute inspector, you can see that there is a attribute named relation. this relation is, we have put this relation as to equal to, but this is a drop down and you can select less than or equal or greater than or equal. So let us first check what happens if the length of the text is increased. So we can check that in our preview mode. Go to that editor and select the preview mode. In the preview mode, you can see this is written over here, English. Tap on the English and you get to know that double length pseudo language, emotional pseudo language. So we will select the double length pseudo language. This means that the text that we have taken will double in the size, and we get to know what will happen to the width if we take the double length pseudo language. So we can see the text is, as it is stated in the warning, that the clipping of the text may occur, and the clipping of the, we can see that the clipping of the text is occurring. So we will take greater than or is equal to in the relation, and this may fix our problem as well as the warning. So you can see the warning is gone. We can select the English also. For the English it is looking nice, and for the double language also it is looking nice. So when you apply localization in your application, this will not truncate or clip your text. So we have discussed about the relationship attribute, relation attribute of the constraint. There are other attributes also like priority. So we are now going to discuss the priority of the constraint. So let us discuss the constraint priority. The layout priority is used to indicate the constraint based layout system, which constraints are more important, allowing to the system to make appropriate trade-off when satisfying the constraint of the system as a whole. So what does this mean? Let us do this practically. For understanding the priority, we are going to create another project where we have two buttons, like button and share button, and on the click of the like button, the like button will be removed from the screen and the share button will take the entire space of the screen like this. So let us do this. For doing this, we need a constant priority. So let us just create a two button. We will remove this click me button first, and we will add two button, UI button. We will drag and drop, Control C and Control V. We are going to add two button. We have added two button. We will add a background color for this button. For the first button, I am going to add the background color to be pink, and for the second, I am going to add the background color to be green. For the first button, I am going to name it as like, and for the second button, I am going to name it as share. So I am going to add the background color for the share button as to be green, and now I am going to add the constraint for these two buttons. I will add the horizontal aligned constraint for both the button. Both the button has to be aligned horizontally to the container, as you can see in this. For deleting the instance of any project, just double click the home button. You can delete, drag and drop. So here you can see there we have a two button. Both the button are aligned center vertically to the container. So I am going to add center vertically to the container constraint for both these buttons. For the like button has to be 10 point from the leading edge, and it has a height of, I think, 100. So I am going to add the height as well as the leading constraint. So I have added 3 constraints. For the share button, I will do the trailing edge and the height. We will add these 2 constraints. Also, I am going to add the horizontal space between these 2 buttons. and the horizontal space between the buttons has to be 10 point. I just edited the height. I will add the horizontal space has to be 10 point. Now I am getting the error because I haven't decided the width of these two buttons. But yes, I need a width where these two buttons has a equal width, and the width has to satisfy the orientation and the screen sizes. So I am going to just add a equal width for these two buttons. So like I am going to select both the button, and I am just going to control drag to the side, and I will get, I'm going to just point this here, and I'm going to add equal width. So you can see now I have a equal width. I have added the equal width, but I think the multiplier of the width is not correct. So let me just edit the multiplier and quickly discuss the multiplier attribute. So you can see I have added a proportional width to like button for the share button. When I click the edit, I get a multiplier priority. Priority is 1000 and multiplier is 1.4. So the share button is a bit greater in width than the like button. If I add this multiplier to be 1, it will be of the equal size, and if I add the multiplier to be 1.5, it will be half of the size. So this is what the multiplier is going to do. So I have added all the constraints. Now for doing the same thing, doing the thing that is happening in this project, clicking the like button, I will create a IB action. Already we have already one IB action mentioned, so I am just going to edit that IB action. It is click me button tab, so I am going to put it like button tab, like button tabbed, and I have commented the previous code, and I have added sender dot remove from superview. I'm just going to connect the like button to like button tabbed IB action. So when I click the like button, this function will be called and it will remove the like button. So let us just run our app and see what happened. Till now we haven't used the priority. So on the click of the like button is disappeared, but the share button, the width of the share button, the Xcode does not know how the width of the share button has to be decided because it was equal to the like button and there is no like button. Thus the width is also reduced, and it is aligned to the right and it is looking very bad. So we are going to add the priority. What we will do is that we are going to add a leading edge of the share button. If suppose in this share button, if the leading edge, that means the front end of the share button has to be aligned to the UI view, and that leading edge has to be 10 pixel. So I am going to add a leading edge, and that leading edge has to be 10 pixel, leading space to like, no leading space to the safe area. It has to be 10 pixel. As soon as I mention this, I can see the error. An error is saying that there are some conflicting constraints. Yes, there will be a conflicting constraint because I have added a horizontal spacing between the like and share also. So for that I need a priority. So this constraint, the leading edge of the constraint share button, that is 10 point from the safe area, has to be the priority of low. so that whenever the Xcode try to run the app and it will find the like button, the leading edge constraint will not be followed. The leading edge constraint of the share button has to be followed only if the like button is not there. So I am going to add the priority of this to be the share button, the leading edge of the share button to the safe area. I am going to add the priority 999, and yes, the error is gone. Let me relaunch my app and see the difference. So this is what we wanted for our project, and here we have discussed the priority of the constraint. So with this we have come to end of our tutorial. So let us just summarize what we have learned in this tutorial. So let's start. We have learned the auto layout. We have learned what is an auto layout. We learned why to use auto layout, and we learned how to use auto layout. We have learned about the definition of the auto layout, and we have learned why to use auto layout. We have checked the auto layout, how to use the auto layout in different device orientation. We have used the localization. We have checked the auto layout for the localization. If you remember, we added the text. We were getting the warning for the click me button, and in going to the preview, we added the double text. We doubled the text, and we get to know that our text was clipping. So we decided to add a relationship greater than and equal to the click me button for the width of the click me button, and our issue was fixed. This was the localization. We have discussed the iPhone screen sizes. We have also discussed the iPhone and iPad screen sizes. iPad multitasking is something which is related to the different sizes. Screen size is also related to different screen sizes. So we have discussed all these things. We have learned the constraints. We learned the constraint priorities, and we have learned how to use the auto layout using the interface built in the storyboard. In our next tutorial, we are going to learn how to use the constraint using the code, and we are also going to learn how to use a constraint using some non-native approach with the third-party kit and DSL like Snap Kit, which is built in on top of native constraints. So we are going to learn more about these things: coding of the constraints, creating a constraint with code, and using the third party. So goodbye for now. Just don't forget to like and subscribe these tutorials. So, and hit the bell icon so you can get the notification whenever the new tutorial is added to this channel. Bye.